The Puck Portfolio with Andy MacNeil.
Hey, welcome to the Puck Portfolio for Thursday, May 16th. I'm Andy MacNeil, your host. I'm here on weekdays to provide NHL picks, betting advice, and projections throughout the NHL playoffs. What a game last night on Wednesday between the Colorado Avalanche and the Dallas Stars. I was hoping that the Stars would end the series. Of course, I've got the Stars at minus 110 on the series line from prior to the start of the second round. And Dallas, with that 3-1 series lead, had a great chance at home on Wednesday, but they didn't get the job done, losing 5-3 to the Colorado Avalanche. And Jake, you made a great point before we started this show. A bit of a Montreal reunion helped the Avalanche get things done last night. They put Terry Lehkonen and Jonathan Drouin together with Nathan MacKinnon, and they produced.
Yeah, I'm sort of realizing as we go on that I've got a bit more of a soft spot for the Avalanche than I thought I did, and that was actually their first win in the last 2 years of the sort of Nikushkin drama. That was their first win without Valeri Nikushkin in the lineup. I think they were 0-3 in each of his suspensions over the last 2 years. But yeah, they kind of formed this Habs reunion line. That line produced 6 points. And yeah, kind of rooting for the Avalanche a little bit, I got to admit.
Yeah, as I can attest to, as somebody who shed some tears as a young fella when Ray Bourque lifted the Stanley Cup. All it takes is one player to get you to latch onto a team when your team's out of it. So maybe Drouin can be that guy for you this year. Although I'm sure you won't be too emotional if he does win the Stanley Cup. I was 12 years old, goddammit. Okay. I loved Ray Bourque. But yeah, great game. Pretty close one, all things considered. And Dallas really pushed at the end there. It was wide open third period. Lots of offense in the third period. Ottinger's got to be better, though. I know, some great shooters on that Colorado Avalanche team. Cale Makar, who we talked about on yesterday's show. Definitely building his case as far as being the Avalanche's top Conn Smythe Trophy candidate. He leads the team right now in a lot of categories, including ice time, and he was a horse for them in game number 5. So game 6 is going to be interesting. Speaking of game 6, though, we've got an interesting game 6. Actually, sorry, before I move along to game 6 between the Rangers and the Hurricanes, I screwed up my segue there. Beautiful segue, gone to waste. I do want to update the series lines here as far as my model goes. So according to NorthStar Bets, the Dallas Stars with a 3-2 series lead are minus 335 series favorite. The Avalanche plus 265 on the other side. In as far as game 6 goes, the Dallas Stars currently, where are we at here? All right, NHL, pull that up. Dallas plus 105. Damn, I might be locking that in here. Actually, you know what? I am going to do that. I'm going to lock in a 1-unit bet on the Dallas Stars. I think they've played good enough to win this series in game 6. They've been really great on the road throughout this season. They've been a better road team than they've been a home team. And they've had a lot of struggles at home in terms of putting games away. So it's not a big surprise that they didn't get the job done in game 5. I think they will get the job done in game 6 with or without Rupe Hintz. He was out of the lineup in game 5. I've got the Dallas Stars winning this one roughly 51% of the time. So I actually think they should be a favorite. They aren't. They are an underdog, and I'm going to take the plus 105, which appears to be pretty much the best price out there on Dallas. And like I said, that's going to be a full unit bet for Friday or for Saturday. Sorry. Or no, for Friday. Yep, that's right. Got it. Yeah, and that absolutely is probably the best price you're going to find in the market right now on the Dallas Stars. We've got Pinnacle at plus 104. Sports Interaction down at even money. Bet 99 at even money. So that plus 105 at North Stars is a really good price. Of course, this show is sponsored by NorthStar Bets. You can check them out via the link in the description below. And yeah, lock in the Stars plus 105 for 1 unit. Let's do it. All right, so we got one bet locked in for Friday. I am going to have a bet locked in for Thursday. I've got one locked in. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But let's first get to Game 6 between the Rangers and the Hurricanes. Chris Kreider, he was questionable heading into the day. According to the coach, though, Peter Laviolette, saying that he looks pretty good, and I believe he has confirmed that that he will be in tonight. So yeah, the Rangers looking to be at full strength, and that is good because Kreider has he's been good this postseason. He's got 4 goals, 3 assists in 9 games, but he scored some clutch goals in the past for this Rangers in the playoffs. So it's big that he will be in for Game 6. I was talking to Jake a little bit here before the start of the stream, and the Rangers, they are as high as plus 137. That's exactly pretty much where I think they should be. Plus 137. We're mostly seeing plus 135, plus 130 even at some sports books, but plus 135 is widely available. That's the price at NorthStar Bets. I just don't think it's good enough. I think sports books have pretty much come to the conclusion that, hey, if we offer the Rangers at plus 140, plus 145, people are going to bet this, and they did, and that's why it's down here at plus 145. I think this is going to be a mucky, grindy game. Obviously, Carolina is going to throw everything at the Rangers that they can. Their season is on the line. So outside of maybe Igor Shesterkin saves prop, something along those lines. I mean, it's tough to nail down any specific angle to play in this game. Under 5.5 minus 112, I guess, a relatively good price, but I don't necessarily think there's any value there. Even if you're just talking about the Carolina Hurricanes attack, a lot of pace there in this game. If we get into an overtime situation, you could see, or a late game situation where the Hurricanes need a goal to tie it, etc., or they're trailing by even more than 1 goal. You could see them rack up a lot of shots late in the game with their season on the line. So, I'm just kind of curious here. It doesn't look like anything up right now as far as total shots on goal, 59.5. Total shots by the Hurricanes, including overtime, over 33.5, minus 112. Total shots on goal by the New York Rangers, over 25.5, minus 112. I would not be surprised if Carolina would hit that over, with their season on the line, but we'll see how the game script plays out. For me, I'm not all that interested. I was interested in backing the Rangers, at home at around plus 110, which was available earlier in the series. On the road, which I believe, was around the plus 145, plus 150 range when they moved to Carolina for games 3 and 4. But, I think people have realized that this, including the bookmakers, have realized that this matchup is a lot closer than most people thought heading into the series. As far as the other Eastern Conference playoff series goes, the Bruins still alive after their Game 5 win, setting up a Game 6 in Boston on Saturday. They have 2 days off here. Am I right about that, or am I mixed up again? It's Saturday, right? No, they're playing Friday. That's 2 days off. God damn. Sorry. Getting old, guys. Anyways, the Florida Panthers and Boston Bruins. Panthers are currently where are we at here? They are currently minus 143 favorite. No, that's the Edmonton Oilers. They are currently they're also a minus 143 favorite. The Boston Bruins a plus 123 underdog. I've got the Bruins at plus 124. with a 50-50 chance that Brad Marchand plays. And basically what we're getting out of the coach right now is that he's still day-to-day, and there is nothing else to go on other than he looks good today. Maybe maybe Marchand closer than they're suggesting, but no word yet. So I don't want to act on anything there. If he is in, however, I would play the Bruins. I'll be honest. I'd play them at the current odds. Some sports books even getting up to close to the plus 130 range. So there's some even bigger prices out there. But hey, the pressure's on the Panthers. Boston played their best game of the series in Game 5, and they could get their captain back for Game 6. Jake, any thoughts on this series, or are you just hoping that the Panthers can wrap it up here and do away with the Boston Bruins?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like my sort of feelings about it have shifted slightly, and now I just kind of want both teams to tear each other apart in 7 games and then just be devoured in the Eastern Conference Finals. But yeah, I think I would enjoy seeing Game 7 in this series. Sort of from a purely sort of recency, emotional bias, I do think that Boston is going to win this game 6. I know I'm putting the voodoo out there, and you're probably not too happy about that, but that's just kind of the way I feel, especially if Marchand does make an emotional comeback. And yeah, I don't know. It just feels like this series is going to get a Game 7. I feel the same way about New York and Carolina as well.
Yeah, we haven't seen a team come back from down 0-3 like the Carolina Hurricanes are on the verge of doing. We haven't seen that in about a decade. So yeah, that'd be quite something to witness here. And I think both of those series deserve a Game 7. Uh, maybe not the Bruins, but hey, I'm gonna say they do anyway. Um, a series that I hope does not go 7 games, but based on how the first 4 games have played out, you would be surprised if it did go 7. The Edmonton Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks, they're getting set for Game 5 tonight in Vancouver, and the Edmonton Oilers are back to being a pretty big series favorite, minus 190 at NorthStar Bets. That's a shorter price than you're going to see. I thought I saw Bet 365 earlier had minus 200 on the Edmonton Oilers for a series price. Vancouver plus 155. You'll see the most likely outcome right now, according to the odds makers. The betting market is Edmonton winning the series 4-2. And yeah, that would require them to win the next 2 games. We do not know if Thatcher Demko will be making an appearance in this series. Of course, he was hurt in Game 1, late in Game 1 against the Nashville Predators. Has not been in the crease or on the bench ever since. And at the start of this series, I guess it kind of seemed like he would be out until Game 4, and then probably back in the second half of the series in Games 5, 6, and 7. But now, I don't know, maybe a bit of gamesmanship, as you said before we started recording. Jake, Rick Tocchet, he's saying that Demko's status has improved immensely over the last few days, but at the same time, he's not, willing to say whether or not we'll see him in the second round. So seems like they're kind of giving us, less clarity about the situation when they talk now than they were a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if there is any chance that Demko would play in Game 5. I'd like to think no, given that there's so much secrecy around it. So right now, assuming we'll see Arthur Silvos, but Silvos, I keep calling him Silvos, Seelovs. It is, but yeah, it's I don't know. It's a dangerous game. Seelovs he's provided the Canucks with average goaltending. You'd love to get above average goaltending from Demko, but there's no guarantee that he comes and gives you that after returning after not only an injury but a long layoff, right? So yeah, it's kind of a pretty unique situation. It'll be interesting to see what happens tonight. But how do you see the situation playing out based on what we've seen here, what Tocchet has said, what the team has said? Do you think we'll see Demko before the end of this series, or do you think this is Seelov's net to keep for the rest of this round?
Yeah, I think if you had asked me prior to Game 4, I would have said that Seelovs is going to finish this series out. You just kind of
Yeah.
try not to upset the apple cart too much. But I think now, after that game, and especially considering how different the Oilers came out and played in Game 4, and how they sort of executed a different kind of game plan, I do now expect to see Demko, and I wouldn't be too surprised if it was as soon as the next game. I think, based on Tockett's comments about the team at large, I think that he's trying to shake things up, and that's probably a pretty good way to do it. And they need to score goals, and it's pretty obvious that they're way more aggressive in the attack when Demko's back there than with Seelovs, because they're kind of trying to protect him. They're not sure what he's capable of, and then with a healthy Demko, they might be able to go out and generate more offense.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if this, whether the Canucks, um, go up or down in the series on Thursday. It'd be interesting when their season is on the line, whether that's a game 6 or a game 7, assuming um, it goes that way. If then they would go to Demko immediately if given the chance. You would think so. I'm sure most Vancouver Canucks fans, if you ask them, hey, like winner take all game, who are we starting? The guy that's got us here over the last few weeks, or the guy that got us here to begin with, our all-star Vezina Trophy goalie. Um, Probably going to go with the Vezina Trophy goalie regardless of the layoff, right? And just hope that it's not a factor. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how all this plays out. Adds another layer to thing. And you mentioned Tockett's comments. I'm guessing you're alluding to the fact that he called out his stars, some of his stars, for being passengers, and everybody looked at Elias Pettersson when he said that. Literally everybody in the room just kind of turned and looked at Elias Pettersson, because yeah, Pettersson's been pretty invisible. He knows he's got to be better too. He said that he is very aware that he's got to be better. He says he's trying out there, but 1 goal, 3 assists, 15 shots in 10 playoff games, not going to cut it, right? I mean, he's got to be a lot better. This is a guy that was, a few years ago, kind of like Canucks fans were willing to stick their neck out and say that, like, no, he's better than McDavid, right? Like, we're not too far removed from that, and I think clearly that's not the case, but he can be a lot better. He can be a factor here, and he just hasn't been. So I'm guessing that we'll see an effort from Pettersson, at least, if nothing else, to try to step up in Game 5. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be tough because, like you said, Vancouver has to generate offense. They have to be more aggressive. They're probably going to be more aggressive if it's Demko in goal. But for whatever reason, and a lot of this is Edmonton dictating the pace of play and things kind of turning in their direction as the series has gone on. They've gotten better and better in terms of controlling play overall. But you look at the Canucks. Uh, they were lucky to score 2 goals, I think, in game number 4. Equally fortunate that Seelovs played as great as he did, and Edmonton's lead wasn't bigger to begin with. According to Evolving Hockey, Vancouver generated 2.4 expected goals in game 1, 1.78 expected goals in game 2, 1.37 expected goals in game 3, and just 1.02 expected goals in game 4. So they've dropped off a lot in each game. They've gotten, less and less chances, fewer and fewer chances. Terrible grammar on my part. But yeah, fewer and fewer chances for the Canucks. Like I said, the Oilers, they held a 12-6 advantage in high danger shot attempts, according to Natural Stat Trick. And yeah, so everything that we're saying there about statistics pretty much lines up with the eye test. The Canucks were looking really, you know, they weren't dominant, but they were efficient. They made good decisions. They got good chances, and they were pretty potent in terms of their goal scoring. The last couple of games, though, sure they were potent enough in game 3, but in game 4, not nearly enough of an effort offensively. Edmonton controlled the game start to finish, regardless of what situation they were playing in. And yeah, it was just if not for that that fluky goal at the end. Probably would have been an easier Oilers win, but yeah, hell of an end to that game. Wild minute and 51 seconds or whatever it was, but yeah, crazy game. And should be a wild. I think this has been maybe the series of the playoffs so far. I don't know. I think it's been. Would you agree with that, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, I think the other series are finally finally catching up. But about a week ago, it looked like we're going to have some kind of bummer series. But yeah, consistently, I think Oilers Vancouver has been the most interesting, the most talking points,
Yeah,
and like the
I will
most.
say
I would say like the biggest stars showing up consistently.
for sure. I will say other series have had some better games. Probably like we can pick out like a single game, like from the Colorado Dallas series, and say that was maybe the best game of the playoffs. That game where the Avalanche game one where the Avalanche came back. There's been some good games in the Rangers and Hurricane series as well. But I think just from from start to finish, games 1 through 4. It's been really competitive and just really wide open as far as and the drama too, the storylines. Even Corey Perry, who's been pretty useless as far as his uh, ability on the ice, but gave me a huge pop the other night when he was holding the stick in front of Besser's face like that. It was hilarious, and that's why you like those guys. Um, Appreciate them while they're still around because someday there's not going to be any more of that. No more psychopaths in hockey. It's going that direction, and we're going to be worse off for it. But anyway, according to Hockey Reference, teams with a 3-2 series lead have gone on to win the series 79.1% of the time, all time. However, Edmonton, they're a big series favorite. They minus 190 on the series line, so 3-2 lead would significantly increase their chances of moving on to the Western Conference Final. You know what else would significantly increase their chances of moving on? Another Leon Draisaitl goal. He scored in 3 straight games. He actually leads. We talked about it with Lieboff on yesterday's show when we were talking about Draisaitl as a potential Conn Smythe winner. As hard as that is to envision with a guy like McDavid playing on the same team. But he's leading the Oilers with 8 goals and 12 assists in 9 games. He's registered at least 2 points in 8 out of 9 games, and has goals in, like I said, each of his last 3 outings. So I actually like Draisaitl to score an anytime goal tonight. Gonna have to shop around for this one though because the odds vary. Some sportsbooks have minus money on the Draisaitl prop, while others have him at plus 135. Currently at Bet365, Draisaitl is, he's still plus 135. And by my eye, those are the best odds that you'll find on his anytime goal prop. So I'm gonna lock that in, half unit on Leon Draisaitl to score an anytime goal, make it 4 straight for Draisaitl. I think plus 135 is a pretty good price, all things considered, especially when Pinnacle minus 108. Like I said, some of these sports books have offering minus money. DraftKings minus 105, plus 110, plus 130. So plus 135. Best odds you're gonna find. Not a terrible price at NorthStar, plus 115, but I can't pass up 20 cents more. That's crazy talk. I'd be a terrible better if I did that. So locking that in at plus 135. And yeah, hope that number 29 continues his success. As far as the game line goes, I think things are lined right. The Oilers, they are sitting at minus 143 currently at NorthStar Bets. The Canucks, meanwhile, down at plus 123. I've got Edmonton lined at minus 134, so I'm right in the middle of that. But yeah, if they get good goaltending from Calvin Pickard, if their defense continues to limit the Canucks to so few chances, assuming Thatcher Demko doesn't make a triumphant return here in Game 5, Edmonton should take a 3-2 series lead back home to play in Game 6 and potentially eliminate the Vancouver Canucks. It would also help if they got another big performance from their top defensive duo, because they've been great in this series. Obviously, the big story, I think, heading into game 4, Jake and I were talking a little bit about it before we started, is that head coach Chris Knobloch actually broke up the CC Nurse pairing, which everybody in Edmonton just rejoiced uniformly at the same time when they heard that news, and making way for better performances from Bouchard and Ekholm. Bouchard, he's playing like 28 minutes a night right now in this series. He's matched McDavid's production. They've both got the same amount of points, 6 in the series. He's got 2 more goals than McDavid, though. He's got 3 goals in 4 games against the Canucks, including that big Game 1 winner in Game 4. And yeah, Matthias Ekholm, he also has 3 goals and 2 assists in the series. So the Oilers, yeah, their top defensive duo, definitely carrying their fair share of the load. But yeah, that's it for today's show. Jake, you got any other thoughts you want to share, or am I good to wrap this thing up?
Don't really have anything else. Yeah, just like I said, excited that the second round turned out a little bit more interesting than it looked like it was going to be a few days ago. Every series will have been 3-2 at some point, whether the Canucks or the Oilers win. And I don't know. I guess begrudgingly, go Bruins.
Not begrudgingly for me. I say it with pride. Go Bruins, go! I mean, I've actually, they put forth a very respectable effort in Game 5, so I'm proud to wear this meth bear on my head today. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe if they win a Stanley Cup, I'll get the meth bear tattooed on me. We'll see. Actually, I would do that. You know what? I would do that. But yeah, that pretty much does it for today's episode of the Puck Portfolio. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Drop a like. Subscribe to the Canada Sports Betting YouTube channel. Check out Jeff Ayette's Oilers Canucks preview at canadasportsbetting.ca. And yeah, good luck with your bets tonight. I'm on the Stars for Friday. Oh, speaking of Friday, we'll be back with Nick Martin on Friday for the usual Friday live stream. So I'm sure Nick will have some plays for whether it be Friday or the weekend or whatnot. But I've got a play for Friday. It's a 1-unit play on the Dallas Stars, NorthStar Bets plus 105. Lock the Stars in for 1 unit. And I've got a player prop, Leon Draisaitl, to score an anytime goal. That's a half-unit bet at plus 135. Found that one at Bet365. So that's it for tonight. As always, good luck with your bets, and I'll see you on Friday. Thanks.